You have no choice but to remove it. He says, remove everything, remove your underwear. Can you argue? You cannot argue. I have gone through it myself. I have gone through the house. And by gaining the whole world, it means you have titles of honorable member, but then at the end of the 5 years or 10 years, you have no home. Even the ministries that I worked in was the Ministry of Local Government. And this is not to annoy my brother, Honorable Barugahara. I worked in local government for 7 years. And at the end of the day, I earned a brain tumor out of the Ministry of Local Government. But this does not scare you. Now, I recovered. And that is why I thank His Excellency the President. I recovered. The most stress-free ministry in government. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Minister of Defense. Major General Mwesige will tell you why. A professional statement. I don't think it elicits questions because professional advice is professional advice. The professionals that I never argue with are medical doctors. Because when a medical doctor says, sit down, you should sit. If he says, remove your trouser, you have no choice but to remove it. He says, remove everything, remove your underwear. Can you argue? You cannot argue. I have gone through it myself. I have gone through the hands of doctors. The doctor will say, remove everything you have, and you have no choice but to do so. When a doctor makes his verdict, the only court of appeal is God. You can't appeal anywhere. The other officer you should never argue with as members of parliament is the speaker. Because I tend to see members of parliament attempting to argue with the speaker in the house. You can't argue with the speaker and win. Because the speaker's ruling can only be appealed against in the courts of law. If I were you, I would avoid arguing with the speaker. When the speaker gives his ruling, actually, the rulings of the speaker form part of the rules of procedure. So don't argue with doctors, don't argue with the speaker, don't argue with judges. A judge in his court, if you argue with him or her, he can always frame a charge of contempt of court, and you'll end up in jail. The only way you can argue with a judge is to appeal against his judgment. So, the insights he has given us are very good. Our work is stressful as members of parliament, but we must learn to manage stress. And he led us into many aspects of health, including managing our families, managing the way we conduct ourselves. And family is very important in health because they say that you can gain the whole world, but lose your home. And by gaining the whole world, it means you have titles of honorable member, but then at the end of the 5 years or 10 years, you have no home. Even the ministries that ministers serve in, the levels of stress are different. The most stressful ministry that I worked in was the Ministry of Local Government. And this is not to annoy my brother, Honorable Barugahara. I worked in local government for 7 years. And at the end of the day, I earned a brain tumor out of the Ministry of Local Government. But this does not scare you. Now, I recovered. And that is why I thank His Excellency the President. I recovered. The most stress-free ministry in government. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Minister of Defense. Major General Mwesige will tell you why. Let me now invite our sister. I'd like to invite our sister, Madam Irene Kuma, who is a seasoned public servant, as you know, a leader, an author, speaker, and a John Maxwell certified leadership coach, speaker with nearly 3 decades of experience in government service, administration, institutional leadership, and community transformation. She currently serves as Undersecretary and Senior Private Secretary to the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports in the government of Uganda, a role that places her at the intersection of governance, education, policy coordination, and national service. Her public service journey also includes significant leadership experience within the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control, where she contributed to the immigration administration, institutional capacity building, and the coordination of Uganda's national identity card project. Beyond her professional work, Madam Irene is deeply committed to equipping leaders and to equipping them with transformation of the people and institutions. She serves in leadership spaces, including Inuka Africa, Mount of Deborah, the Billion Soul Harvest Initiative, as Uganda's national coordinator, and Hagai Leadership Institute, where she serves as the vice president. Her leadership passion is centered on helping individuals discover their God-given purpose, develop character, lead with integrity, and influence society through faith-based excellence. It's now my honor and privilege to invite you to come and share your wisdom with us.
Thank you very much, Chair. The Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Ministers and Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, who is also the Chair of this session, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by congratulating you all on your recent victory in the elections. Congratulations, honorable members. Let me also thank you so much for praying for Mama Janet. Thank you, those who have been praying for her. Thank you very much. I want to thank the presenter who has just been here, my brother, Dr. Ayume, who has given us a lot of good tips. I believe we are going to be healthier after listening to that. I was asked to talk about self-management for effective leadership. And when I looked at the program, I saw there were so many papers that were connected to that. I saw personal management, I saw many things. And so I struggled on what would exactly come off as self-management for effective leadership. And I believe what I'm going to share is going to be transformational for each one of us. I joined government 30 years ago, as you heard, and at that time, I enrolled for a leadership course. And one of the things I learned that was so transformational for me was a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which said that one man cannot do right in one department of life while he's occupied in doing wrong in any other department, because life is one indivisible whole. I can't see the screens here, so I hope you can see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, the IT department. And so as we talk about self-management this afternoon, this evening,